Well, let's say you bought a brand new Harley or any motorcycle and you're like, man, now I want to accessorize this thing. I got money burning a hole in my wallet and I'm ready to spend it. Well, today I'm going to give you 7 motorcycle accessories that are really good and some that are a total waste of money. So I have experience with a lot of these upgrades and I want to kind of maybe steer you away from some that you think might be a good idea, but in my opinion, they're just not. Now, of course, I'd love to hear from you guys as well, whether you've had a good or bad experience with some of these motorcycle accessories, and maybe leave some of your favorites down below. Let's go ahead and jump right in. Well, it's official. We are less than 2 weeks away from ending the giveaway on the 2021 Street Glide. So you have a little bit of time. May 9th, midnight Pacific Standard Time, the giveaway is getting cut off. And what we've done is partnered up with Fan of Them, who is a small veteran-owned business that does giveaways, I don't know, a little bit differently. So you'll see some of the giveaways out there. They have really awesome motorcycles. Maybe there's thousands, maybe tens of thousands of entries where ours are smaller, on a smaller scale with motorcycles that are just as cool. So in this case, a 21 Street Glide with Saddleman seat, upgraded handlebars, Vance & Hines exhaust, bunch of goodies from Law Abiding Biker, and the entry process is in a shorter time frame, giving you a better chance to win something really awesome. There's one link in the description of this video. Click the link. That will send you to Headshot Nation, which is a community we started with these giveaways last year, and it is steadily growing. Once you sign up, you essentially become a part of the community where you can get early access, ad-free, and exclusive content. You can ask me questions or talk to other community members as well. It's a fantastic place to be if you love motorcycles. And I have my other content on there from my other channel as well, so you can watch it all ad-free actually. And you get entered to win the 21 Street Glide. Again, May 9th, midnight Pacific Standard Time is the cutoff, so make sure you go over there, sign up, and you support myself as well when you do it. Good luck to every single one of you. Now, the first one is exhaust. This is one of the very first upgrades you're going to do. It's the very first one I want to talk about, and yes, you can blow your money here. The biggest thing that you want to keep in mind is sound. Or what kind of riding you're doing. Let's say you're commuting 20-30 minutes a day. That loud drone on your motorcycle, which sounds amazing, admittedly, is probably not going to bother you. But let's say you do a lot of touring, that loud drone and constant wah, 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 wah in your helmet, in your head, in your ears may start to get annoying over time. So you really got to consider what kind of riding you're doing. Also, the best sound doesn't always necessarily mean it's the loudest. Now, I'm a fan of Tab Performance. I think they make really incredible exhausts. I like Vance & Hines. I like Reinhardt. Reinhardt probably being my favorite because you do get that nice deep rumble, but it's also subtle enough when you're just cruising and you want to listen to your music or you just want to kind of take everything in. It's not overly obnoxious. There's one exhaust I can think of, and it was on the V-Rod. I have a buddy that owns a V-Rod, and I rode that thing, and it was just obnoxious. And I only rode it for like 20 minutes, and the exhaust was in a weird position, at least for my height. I'm shorter, but whatever. It was in a weird position. I didn't like it. The tone, it sounded loud, but it just didn't sound good. So make sure whenever you're doing exhaust that you get some of the comparisons here on YouTube. As good as that sound can come through on camera, I've done Reinhardt, Tab Performance. You can check out my videos or others, but that'll give you a good idea. Of course, if you go to a rally, you're going to have some of the big manufacturers there. You can check out the exhaust. And of course, talk to your friends too and kind of see what kind of exhaust maybe you like. And that way, when you're spending a lot of money, it's going to be into something that you actually want to keep on the bike and not instantly revert back to stock. Keeping with the theme of exhaust, another thing that you absolutely don't want to do when you buy that expensive exhaust, let's say you've made your decision and all of that, is not put a tune on. Now, this, of course, applies to bikes that already have the heavy breather. So if you're doing the stage 1, you got to do the tune. Now, I know what you're thinking, man, that's like, $400 or $500 on top of the exhaust, but trust me, you don't want to spend all of that money into a exhaust, full exhaust or slip-ons. You have a heavy breather and not do the tune. I mean, you can have, at minimum, backfiring, rough idling. The air fuel mixture is now off, so you might be running too lean And you got to be able to recalibrate that. Otherwise, you could be looking at burnt pistons, burnt valves, engine knocking, or worse. You're at least going to reduce the engine life as well. So you absolutely want to make sure that you put a tune on your bike. Please do not spend all that money and not throw a tune on there. Here's another common expensive upgrade that may be worth it or may not. Back when I had my Street Glide, I was looking for something to, a different seat, right? This was before I realized, oh, hey, backrest is probably a good idea. And before I found Saddlemen. So I bought a heated and cooled seat from Harley, and I'm trying to remember, maybe it was the Sundowner. It provided a little bit more padding, plus the heating and cooling feature. It did not pay off though. I really found very few benefits from that seat at all. And that seat was like $900. I mean, very, very expensive. This is one of the drawbacks too to not doing enough research, right? Which admittedly I've done. And that's why I'm telling you that now, because research can save you a lot of money. Remember those rallies I was talking about too? You can really find some really solid products and upgrades from companies you may not even know exist. Now, one company everybody knows about, pretty much, I guess I didn't back then, but you know, I do now, is Saddlemen, right? I've been using their seats now for some time. And I can tell you from somebody that I ride with very consistently that I used to stop with a stock seat, and even actually some of the upgraded seats that Harley sent me, 50, 75 miles was about my max. Now, with a Saddlemen road sofa, with that gel technology, which basically works like a shock absorber for your butt, this thing is incredible. And I paired that with the backrest too. And I feel like I can ride double that, if not even longer. A seat makes all the difference, but just because it's Harley branded, which is something I really had to get away from anyways, to be quite honest with you. For the longest time, that's all I would buy is Harley branded stuff. I think some people fall into that trap. I was one of them. But exploring other options, talking to some of your friends, and getting some ideas from reviewers, or just doing some of your own research can save you a ton of money. Now, let's say you're somebody with back issues, or maybe you have like some leg issues, ankles, hips, things like that, and you don't have $1,000 to spend on a seat. Well, I think that's totally normal. Well, a cheap alternative is to win the 21 Street Glide that I'm giving away. That comes with a Saddlemen seat. Right? That's actually probably the cheapest alternative, and you get everything encompassed into one motorcycle. But even if you don't want to do that, or you've already entered and you don't know if you're the winner for that thing, you could buy one of the WildAss seat cushions. These things are freaking fantastic. I actually wear them on my boat. I bought one of the pond prowlers from Bass Pro Shops last year, and you know, it comes with decent seats for what it is, right? It's a smaller boat, but there's not much padding on there. So I put the WildAss thing on there, and man, it helps so much, relieving the pressure in areas where it should. The thing is fantastic. So you can take it on and off your motorcycle. Heck, you could probably even use it in a plane, unless you're riding first class. You could use it anywhere, wherever you go, at the stadium, right? If you're watching a baseball or football games or any number of things, you can use this thing everywhere. Now, they have a light version, but the one right above that, I think it's probably just their normal version. There's 3 different ones. I wouldn't go with the light one. I would go with the one right above that. It's like a little less than $200, but you're talking about some of the best money that you could probably spend. It has gel inserts in each one of the air bladders, and you blow it up, or you let all the air out of it, whatever you want to do. The thing is fantastic, and once you get your air exactly where you want it, this thing is a freaking lifesaver. I'm telling you, one of the best things I've ever purchased for my motorcycle. Speaking of Harley-Davidson, you know, one thing they've done is gone to more of a model where you buy the base bike and then you buy one of the packages. Well, I find that in most of these packages, there's probably going to be something that you wish you bought aftermarket, or you're going to end up buying additional parts To complete the package, one of the more egregious ones I can think of anyways, is the limited package. So it comes with the Streamliner floorboards, which was just basically the regular floorboards for the longest time. Comes with a heel shifter, which is something they took off the bikes in 2021, 2022. Those should still come on the motorcycles, let's just be honest. Comes with the docking hardware, which on the 24s, it came with docking hardware. You know, you got to buy the tour pack separate, color match tour pack, then you have to buy the lower fairings separate that work with the engine guards. I don't know, man, 1,600 bucks for that, for detachable hardware, engine guards, Streamliner floorboards. Seems pretty steep to me. And for that, you can buy aftermarket floorboards or aftermarket engine guards, aftermarket lowers even if you wanted to, for a much cheaper price and actually get the stuff you want. There's a lot of their packages. Some of them are pretty good. Others, like this one, I just think are a total waste of money. Here's another one you should absolutely not buy, and one you should. That is traditional rider pegs, right? If they mount to the engine guards, you get a little bit of adjustability, but to me, they're just not even close to what you would get with like a Ciro frame mounted riding pegs. These things are fantastic. I had these on my 2020 Road Glide and I absolutely love them. If you're taller, right, they actually have brackets to accommodate you. If you're shorter, they can accommodate you as well. You can kind of pull them in, you can move them a little more off to the side. There's so much adjustability. And to me, they still give you really good ground clearance. It's not like you're taking a lot of your lane angle. That was one of the concerns when I did that video last year. So you're not losing there. You're getting a lot more adjustability. And for me personally, they're actually a little bit closer. So it's not as much of a stretch, but still you can fine tune it more than what you can with traditional riding pegs. Here's another one you may waste some money on, and here's one that you won't. So I've used a variety of different air compressors. I've used ones that are battery operated. They have internal batteries, you charge them. The one I used that is a combination jump starter and a tire inflator actually broke really quickly. Within like 9 months, frickin' tire inflator stopped working. Now the jump box part of it started working, and really that's part of my issue, because anytime you combine two features like that in one unit, one's gonna suffer more than the other. Whatever, I still keep it as a little jump box because that part of it's still working, like I said. Plus you have to worry if they're charged up and all that kind of stuff. So I'm like, you know what? I am gonna buy something that is Harley branded, and I'm gonna see how it works. So far, this has been the best one. That is the Harley branded tire inflator. You always have power, right? So it's gonna hook up to your battery tender. It has a super long hose, one that screws on, one that doesn't just clamp on. I feel like the ones that screw on actually don't have as much leakage. There's less chance of actually breaking the sensor, right? I feel like they're better, more secure, but that's just me. So it screws on there, you hit a button, boom, set your parameters where you want it, and boom, fill your tire up. Super easy and super convenient as well. It is a very small little package that I think has done a fantastic job so far. And it's actually less expensive than some of the ones that I've bought in the past, which can range $70 to $100 on up. Don't have to worry about charging it. I think it's been the best one that I've bought so far, something I definitely would recommend. And that Harley one seems to do a really good job. It also has braided line, by the way, so it should be tough and durable. Now, if this thing fails on me within a year, of course, I'll try to find something better. But so far, this one has been really good and at a decent price. Here's another one that is expensive, but I think is totally worth it. At least according to everybody I've talked to. And when I say everybody I've talked to, I mean everybody I've talked to that has done a suspension upgrade has loved it. And Wilbur's and O'Lean's seem to be the two that a lot of people in the Harley-Davidson community actually gravitate towards. So my friend Ryan at Law Abiding Biker sent me the Wilbur's out so I can give it a shot. And so once I get that actually onto the motorcycle, I think what I'm gonna do is buy a dedicated lift. Probably Harbor Freight, to be totally honest with you. Maybe you guys have some better experience or some ideas there for a good lift that doesn't take up a ton of space, but I think I'm gonna go that route and just buy a dedicated lift, get the suspension upgraded, and from what I hear, this is the upgrade, right? If you're gonna spend a lot of money into something on your bike, the suspension is the way to go. Now, Harley did upgrade the suspension, front and rear, on the new 24 and 25 Road and Street Glides, but these specifically, like Wilbur's, is actually tailored to you. Front and the rear is totally tailored to your weight, how often you ride with a passenger, how much luggage you normally ride with. They ask you all these questions to kind of build your profile to send the correct units out so you get the best ride possible. This is one I don't have personal experience with, but man, it's really hard to argue with everybody out there that says Wilbur's and O'Lean's, especially Wilbur's, it seems like a lot of people say, is fantastic. So yes, it's a lot of money, but this is one I am really excited to try on my motorcycle. I want to give you a free upgrade too. Well, maybe not free, a couple bucks, but it's something you probably already have or you've already drank this morning or whenever you're watching this video, and that is the ability to customize your water reservoir on the new 24 and 25 Road and Street Glide. Of course, the water reservoir now is on the left-hand side in the front where the front head is, and of course your engine guards are, and you can actually simply just gently pull that out of the clip that it's mounted in, and you can take a Monster can or a Red Bull, or one of my favorite ones now is A-Bomb Energy. They have some good stuff in there, some good flavors, but and plus I love the packaging. I'm just a sucker for anything World War II or Cold War related, whatever. The drinks do taste good, most of them anyways. And you can finish the drink, cut it, of course, you know, carefully cut the top, cut the bottom off, and then you could take one or maybe even two cans and actually put those on that reservoir, tuck them in there, make sure that clip kind of goes over the back where the two ends meet, and boom, you've totally customized your water reservoir for little to nothing, and you can kind of change it out as often as you see fit or as they fade or whatever the case is. That's kind of a cool little upgrade. Last one I want to talk about is speakers. Now, I did a speaker upgrade through Volunteer Audio, and it was one of the best things I had ever done to my motorcycle, to be honest with you. And while it's expensive, I still find that it's worth it. If you're doing a lot of touring, maybe you don't wear a helmet, maybe you don't like having speakers in your helmet. Sorry about the air too, by the way, but we're almost done here. But if you don't like stuff in your helmet or you don't wear a helmet and you want that upgrade, just go with a reputable company, right? Volunteer Audio did very well by me, and I recommend them. But if you don't have the money to spend on that, or you don't want to spend it on that, you could always go with an upgrade in your helmet, right? So Cardo is one of the best ones that I've ever used, right? You have 45 millimeter JBL speakers. You have, of course, your boom mic that you can use. You get an easy to use over-the-air software updates. You never have to plug the thing in except to charge it, and the battery life is incredible. They say 13 hours. Push to talk, mesh network. You guys can hook up to like 15 of you, and you have a mile radius. The things are fantastic. Plus, you can hear your music at pretty much any speed, right? So you don't have to have it coming through the speakers if this is something that you prefer. So you have a couple different options there. And by the way, it's about a quarter of the price, if not less than that, when you use my discount code to save a little bit of money. So there you go, man. Those are 7 accessories that you will waste your money on, or you could actually get some of the better alternatives and some accessories mixed in that are actually really, really good. I hope that helps you out. And of course, I want to hear from y'all, man. What are some of the best accessories or some of the ones maybe you thought you wasted your money on? Leave those down below. And again, don't forget, May 9th, midnight Pacific Standard Time, you got to enter by that date to win the 21 Street Glide. Good luck to you guys. Big thanks. See you in the next one. And as always, hold them down.